You know, someone who plays a good racist makes me a bit concerned about. Hang on a minute, how do you know how to be such a good racist? No, I'm playing. That was definitely good acting, in my opinion. Gotta say, like, another week, another chatterbox. Yes, what's going on, people? My name's Dan, and today we've got the full house, man. It's good to see you all, boys. Obviously, starting off with the brother is Sean,
Yo, people, what's up?
and it's the Harrow Bro brother, Dunno.
Hey man, I'm the grapes man today.
Oh, is it? Yeah, run out of sweets or just trying to get
Yeah,
healthy?
yeah. I'm going all healthy.
All right, cool. 2021 starting now for you, yeah?
Yep.
What's going on? It's the ladies' love. It's Andre.
Yeah, I'm good, man. You alright? What's going on?
Man, flexing. Now I know why you was going out of shot before, innit? Come on. And we can't forget, it's the main man, it's the dapper, it's the don, it's the brother, it's the G, it's the OG, it's the man with the phrases, it's the man with the bars, it's OG Ben's one.
Fight the power. Fight the power.
Indeed.
We got to fight the power. Yo, bring it.
Bruv, do you know what? Yeah, on a level, that's the vibe I feel right now. Like, because this week, obviously, or today, we're reviewing one of the films in the Small Axe anthology series by Steve McQueen. And I'm not gonna lie, I've jumped ahead already, and I've started watching the second one. But the first one is the one that we're reviewing, which is Mangrove. And that gave me some energy, you know. There's some stuff that goes on in there, but I got some energy out of it. And it taught me a bit about history as well. It gave me some of that knowledge that we all need right now. And the Mangrove tells this true story of the Mangrove Nine, who clashed with London police in 1970. And it's the trial that followed that was the first judicial acknowledgement of behavior motivated by racial hatred within the Metropolitan Police. And that's a big moment in the history for Black people in the UK, but also just for the UK in general. Now, before we get into the detail of the Mangrove, I want to hear from you guys. Was it a hit or a miss?
It was a perfect hit for me.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely a hit.
Yeah, it was a hit. I was engrossed from beginning to end.
Parents' generation that they experienced in the 60s, resounding hit for me.
I was gonna make the noise of the klaxon, you know, like ba 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 ba. I tried, but I can't do it. But like, yeah, man, it was a hit. It was oh my days. Just honestly, like I could not have corrected anything on this film. It was fantastic, and there were a lot of great individual performances. But was there anyone that stood out for you guys? Any of the actors, or specifically the characters?
So there was three characters that stood out for me. One played by Letitia Wright, who played Althea Jones, Sean Parks, who played Frank Cricklow, and especially Malachi Kirby, who played Darcus Howe. Like, he was excellent. There's a bit towards the end, or near the end, where he's making a closing argument in the court, and it's just like his monologue is excellent. Like, I was so engrossed in everything he was saying, and I felt it, and his acting was just top notch, and I loved it.
Yeah, Letitia was fantastic. The energy that she brought to that character, and definitely the emotion that she brought out in that character. Oh my days! And Malachi, obviously, like the first time I saw Malachi, I think anyway that I can remember was in Black Mirror, and it just stood out as an actor to me, really. And I was so excited when I didn't actually look. You know what I do, guys? I never really look up about any of the films before we watch them. So when I saw his face, I was like, I know that guy. Clocked on, did a little IMDb search afterwards. I was like, yes, that's the guy. Oh my days! And you know what? Like, I think Darcus is a very interesting character to play, because let's be honest, like Darcus is a very intelligent guy, and you do not want to mess that up. Like, no one wants to mess that up, and Malachi gets props from me on that. Definitely. I don't know if you guys remember a beautiful moment after the I think it was the 2011 London riots, and Darcus was being interviewed on Tottenham High Street the morning after the first night of unrest, and he just spoke truth to power, man. He was on camera talking to BBC News, and he was like, "This is because of the government. This is because of you guys in the media. This is because of the police. This is all you guys have created this. You created this, man." And I was like, ooh, I had chills. I remember I was sitting there like, oh, darkest, man. God rest that soul. Honestly, I hope he is resting in beautiful bliss, because just what a guy. Anyway, another thing in that movie was the music. Throughout the film, there were different bits of music, and also the culture that came up. And I want to know if it enhanced your experience of what was going on, and if it captured the time in which it was set, because there was so much to it that really brought my mind to think about the environment people were living in. And I wanted to know about your experience watching that.
For me, it definitely enhanced the experience. Hearing reggae always takes me back. I always find it a relaxing kind of music, and it's also very feel good. And on the screen, I suppose it almost makes you feel like you're there with them, living in that moment. I also thought calypso. Everyone knows calypso is a fun kind of music. It just makes you want to get up and dance. Overall, I think the music, they definitely held it down, and that, for me, that was just expected. I expected to love the music when I came into watching this, so definitely, yeah, thumbs up for that.
Yeah, definitely enhanced it for me. Listening to the music was great. There was a scene where they were dancing on the street, and the vibe, the characters, like, it was excellent. Like, and I was dancing with them. I wanted to be there. Like, and I just loved it. And all throughout the movie, it enhanced it. I literally just I was watching Lovers Rock before we came on here, and yeah, they really know how to use music in these films. So, thumbs up.
Yeah, I was enjoying the music in the second one as well, because I feel that let's not go into it. Let the viewers, when they watch that,
Yeah.
woo, make sure you got your good speakers plugged into the iPad or whatever it is you're watching on. You don't want to be watching none of these on them tinny speakers where you can't hear the bass and them thing there. Oh, come on. All right, I want to go get me some nice food after this and vibes out. Listen, Steve McQueen, yeah, is an accomplished filmmaker with critically acclaimed movies such as Hunger, Shame, and 12 Years a Slave. How do you think he did on Mangrove?
On Mangrove, I thought he was excellent. He showed what an accomplished director he was. The pace was fantastic. The use of cinematography was amazing. I love the mise en scène and basically the locations, how he was able to create the era. A great performance from his cast that all worked together, and they were able to deliver such a fantastic piece. And every scene, I was brought into that scene. I really enjoyed it. I didn't want it to end. I thought it was fantastic. The drama, the emotion, the court case. I thought every bit from the start to the end was fantastic.
Boy, yes, I have to agree with you, P, man. And I'm thinking, this guy's he's an accomplished director, and I'm wondering, why wasn't it done before? And you read along and you find out that it's been in the pipeline for some time as well. And there's now more and more films coming out about the experience of Black people in general. And I love the title. I mean, they call it Small Axe, and you know that there's a saying, small axe could cut down a big tree. And I think there's something there as well. All these little symbolisms. It was really good. Yeah, and I'm glad that it was shown on BBC One and BBC iPlayer, because that means everybody in the UK could watch it. There's no excuses now. You need to sit down and watch this film. Grab everybody together, grab the whole family together, and sit down and vibes out to this particular film as well. And even Amazon has taken it, because they're gonna just run it through to the US market. And I'm wondering how it's going to be received in the US, because during those times there was unrest there. There was so much going on for Black Americans as well. So it's interesting that it's all coming together now. And yeah, maybe it's been a long time coming, but it's now taking momentum, and we're just going places now.
Well, it's quite clear that there wasn't anything you guys didn't like. But was there anything that you might have changed in this film or done differently?
as I said before, I really enjoyed the film, and I thought the film was excellent in pretty much every area. But if there was one thing that I was going to pick out and say that maybe I feel like they could have done a little bit better, I feel like I didn't get to know enough about the individual characters, which was a little bit of a shame. But then I guess at the same time, with the time that they had available, and with the focus being, on the trial itself, could they really, shoehorn that in there? Probably not.
I don't think there was anything I didn't like about the film. The experience that our foreparents had during those times, man, it's shocking, and it kind of, like Andre was saying, it brought you right there as well. You were just there in the moment, and I just felt angry a lot of the times. I just felt, nah, man, this is happening. And I was just grinding my teeth, man, and I was getting angry straight up anyway. But nonetheless, it's a film and it's there to educate us, and I took away a lot from it. I want to see more in the anthology, so I'm looking forward to that. In relation to what would I have changed, the Mangrove, it was also frequented by people like Bob Marley, Nina Simone, Jimi Hendrix, even Norman Beaton from Desmond, and they should have showed a bit of that, because yes, they had music there, but it was all, they had big people, top people go into the Mangrove, and they needed to show a bit of that. Yes, there were a lot of activists going there as well. There was a little drinking and dancing and stuff, gambling. Yeah, but we needed to see more people, the high profile people that will go in there and saying that this place was a place that it was the place to go. It was the place to be seen, especially if you're Black, So, and I also wanted to see a little bit more, maybe newspaper clippings from what actually did happen, or even archive footage of some of the things that did actually take place. And that would have been hard hitting, just reinforcing it that, look, this is what they've experienced all this time ago. And you know what? To this day, some of us are still experiencing it.
I don't know if you felt the same like I did. I really wanted to know what happened with the police officer at the end. Somehow I just felt his story. I wanted to know what became of him. I'd love to them to show what actually happens to our oppressors sometimes, and show that, even though we might have come out won that little victory, sometimes our oppressors are still around and they still just keep coming back and back and back. Yeah. I would have loved to see explore that a little bit more. That is the only thing I think they could have. Yeah.
Agreed. I'd just like to shout out the actor, because he made me angry, man. He was so good in that role, because he was just so on it, and I was like, just punch this mother. I was like, really good actor.
Yeah, Sam Sproul's been in a lot of stuff. I think definitely check it out. Like, one thing I'd say though, like on that conversation is, someone who plays a good racist makes me a bit concerned about, hang on a minute, how do you know how to be such a good racist? No, I'm playing. That was definitely good acting, in my opinion. Gotta say, like, come on, it's one of them, innit? Like, one thing I thought as well though is that in every character, you felt like they had done their research. They hadn't just acted the role well. They had looked up like the emotion and the background and the history. They'd definitely done their research. How do you guys think the two films compare? The Mangrove 9 and the Chicago 7?
Mangrove was superior for me to the Trial of Chicago 7. That movie, the Trial of the Chicago 7, the tone was all over the place for me, personally. Like, I enjoyed lots of moments in it, but just the tone was weird. And Mangrove had a nice tone to it, which it stuck to. The actors were great, the writing was great, and it had a better ending for me. I really enjoyed the ending of Mangrove compared to the Trial of Chicago 7. So it was superior for me.
Actually, I do agree with you. There are differences. I think the similarities that I saw was obviously the I suppose the fact that it's around a court case, around it's people getting trialed for things that they haven't really done or haven't done at all, and there's the similarities that I saw. But definitely, for me, The Mangrove was a better film out of the two, if we want to look at it in that way. Now, as I mentioned, the trial of the Chicago 7 came out this year, and there's been a lot going on this year, and not just in the film world around Black justice, but also actually in the real world. And do you think things have improved since the trial of the Mangrove 9 in terms of how Black people are treated by the police?
Yes, I believe there's been some improvement over the years, but we still don't know that the institutionalized racism still exists. In relation to the court case, or court now in general, you only tried by your peers as well, and there's usually mixed people, mixed jurors. Judges can't behave in the manner that the judge behaved in the court in Mangrove, and police can't, or they do, but they shouldn't behave in the way that they did in that particular film as well. And I think there's been a lot of education over the years. You've had lots of organizations just trying to help the police to understand cultural differences and help people from the BAME community to deal with police whenever they're being stopped or whether there's an incident, or these are ways that you actually have to present yourself, because if you don't, then other things going to happen. So there's definitely been a change. It's been slow, but then things are still continuing to change. So in a way, what's his space in 20 years time?
Definitely, like, things have moved on. One thing I think we've always got to remember is not a lot of those people who had those views in the police back then, they're still in the police. You know what I mean? They're still involved in one way or another. They're still mates. You don't leave the police like just people go in that for a career and they work their way up. So they might not be on the streets on the beat, but they might be working up in the offices and stuff, and they're maneuvering in different ways, and they have the same views sometimes. Now, there's 4 more films in the Small Axe anthology. Or what would you like Steve McQueen to explore further in the further 4 more films?
It probably would be good to see something in relation to the Windrush. I mean, I have seen previous documentaries and stuff like that before related to it. And obviously, I've heard a lot from my family, the elder generation, like my grandparents, for example, on my mum and my dad's side. So, it would definitely be good to sort of see that all captured on screen. Maybe, capturing something like the Grenfell disaster, just so that all those people who were affected, their stories can be heard, and it will serve as another reminder, to the powers that be to do whatever it takes to never let something so horrific, but easily avoidable happen again. So that's probably one of the more modern things that they could probably make a film or show about.
Interesting fact is that this movie that we've just watched from the Small Axe series on the Mangrove 9 was based, it was around 1969, 1970, right? Yeah, and Grenfell actually started, which was just down the road, as you know, actually started construction just in, I think it was 1972. So like at that time, those people that were living there, Grenfell is gonna have been, after that story, a part of those people's lives, and it's a part of the story that we've just watched and what was to come afterwards. People who moved into that Grenfell Tower thought they were getting new opportunities, new housing. Back then, the high rises were going up all over the place. And there's a continuation of that story into the story of Grenfell as well. So, like, really hard hitting point there, I'd say, on that. And the types of communities that were built and the types of communities that continue to flourish in that area around southwest London. Really, really interesting. Now, I could sit here with you guys and talk all night about the Small Axe series. I'm thinking like we're gonna have to come back once we've watched all of them and have a little chat about that. excited to see John Boyega taking part in this as well. But I suppose the second most important question of the night, something that came up with me and a few friends, and you've all got a one-word answer. Is it plantain or plantain?
It's got to be planting, man.
It's plantain.
What are you saying?
No,
Where you got
come on, no. Let's argue again, man. Argue now.
Come on,
dude.
man. It's got to be planting. You're not telling me you're calling it plantain, you know.
If I say planting, let me say planting what? We ain't got no bushes in the back there. We ain't got nothing to plant. You know what I mean? Plantain.
Come on, man. That's like.
I'm bugging, man.
No.
It's planting, isn't it? Must fight planting, man.
But the most important question of the night, guys, as always, what rating would you give it?
I'm gonna give it 5.
5, baby.
5 stars, highly recommended.
Yo, I gotta go with everybody else, man. 5. I got 5 on it.
Anyway, this one, 5 stars. All 5 of us have given it 5 stars. That is one of the top rated films that we've reviewed on this channel. We really hope you guys enjoy watching it, and we hope that you've got a lot to say as well. So make sure you hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what bits you enjoyed. And if you didn't like it, get the out of my comments, man. No, I'm joking. Tell us what you didn't like about it, and maybe we can have a debate. Maybe we'll get you on the show one day if you got some bars, you get me? Also, while you're down there, there's a red box. It says subscribe. Next to it, there's a bell. Make sure you hit that box and hit the bell so that you can see our videos and get a notification as soon as they go live. Also, like I mentioned before, Andre's got us on the socials, so make sure you let us know what you're watching and what you think we should be watching there as well. My name's Dan. We got the brother Sean.
Peace.
Don't know it's the Harrow brother P. It's the ladies' love. It's Andre. And it's the OG Des.
Yes.
Can't wait for the barbers to reopen. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed it this week. Can't wait to watch the rest of the Small Axe series of movies. Peace, love, and we'll see you next week.